and welcome to Saxlingham. We are at the starting farm in the meadow area that we showed you a couple of episodes ago, and we were wondering what to do with it. So I've decided to put goats in here and to supply goat's milk. Now, of course, goat's milk are supplied on pallets, and that'll mean we'll be able to pick up the pallets and deliver to our dairy. And that will solve our goat's milk problem without having to buy a new trailer. Although this is going to be much more expensive than buying a new trailer, but this is much more fun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a fence pretty much to the shape of the actual meadow. So it's going to be a big enclosure. I have left to the left of the fence quite a big open space so that we can get some vehicles in and out. You'll see why it's been left there once we get to the other side of the field. So we'll just go pretty much along the fence line, just leave a little bit around the edges, simply because we might need to get around there, but yeah, we don't want to mess with or get involved with the actual fencing that is on the map. I did look to see whether it could be removed. It couldn't, so quite happy with just putting this fencing on the inside. No real problem. I think we should get about 100 goats odd in this area. I don't think it'll be much less than that. And there you can see the gate. So I've left the gate open so that we can work out exactly where to put our fence once it's open. So we'll try and get as much space as we can. Of course, because with goats you can 100% feed on meadow. So that'll save a little bit on feed costs. We'll have to put some feed in to kind of act as backup if the meadow runs out, because it does get used, of course. So that's that pretty much done. Now let us see how many sheep we can get in here. I'm going to say 100 odd. It's a bit unfair because I pretty much know how big the area is. In any case, let's see how close to 100 we can get. The field, the meadow is absolutely perfect for goats. A couple of trees around to give them shade. Of course, they'll nibble on the bark as well. Quite big trees, so hopefully they won't take down the trees in terms of nibbling all the bark off. I have seen that happen before. I have seen goats do that before. So let's see how many we can get in here. So it's 115. So it was pretty close. So let us get 50, I think. I think 50 will be about the right sort of amount to get that will allow them to breed. I don't want to spend a lot of time on animal husbandry on this series. I am doing it in the other series, and of course we did have the New Hope series that ran for quite a while. So yeah, I don't really want to. I haven't put realistic farming on. I may put the enhanced animal system on eventually, simply because once we are full with female goats, they will continue to breed, and I would want to be able to at least sell the overstock, so to speak. But we'll look at that a bit later. I'm not going to worry about that right now. So let's get these 50 bought and put them into what I would call mini utopia. or small heaven, because we're going to be building another one on the other farm, the new one, the new farm area, around the new farm buildings that we bought a couple of episodes ago, and that is going to be absolute goat heaven. Just wait and see. You got to check that one out. It's probably going to be the best goat field I've ever built. Right, so that's the goats built. We've got plenty of feed for them, I think. How much feed have we got here? How much meadow? Let's check that out. Where am I going to check that out over if we go down? Yeah, we've got plenty of meadow. 26,000 litres out of meadow. That'll keep us going for a while. As I said, we'll put some grass bales into the feeding area, 2, maybe 3, 4 of them, so that if the meadow does start running out, it'll automatically start feeding from there. So there they are, all 50 goats in this lovely little meadow area. And that's that little field made productive, so to speak. Right, so the next thing I want to do just before we build the next goat enclosure is to get the soya beans going. So of course we've got the Unimog with all the seed and fertilizer on, although we're planting soya, so I don't think it needs an awful lot of fertilizer, which is pretty good. But we've got our new planter, and which we bought a couple of episodes ago, I think. Could have been the last episode, can't remember which episode it was. So let's go and pick that up. It's just behind us. There it is there. So this planter trails behind. We will have to put the tractor onto the front. So there's the hitch there. So we need to turn it around, I think. And then we'll get it filled up with seed and fertilizer. There's a little bit of seed and fertilizer in there that I put in from a couple of pellets that I had lying around the yard. Just utilize those up. I think we've got a whole heap of fertilizer on the other farm that I need to utilize at some point in time. I think there's 8 or 9 pellets there of fertilizer, but that's beside the point for now. Let us fill up with seed and with fertilizer. As I say, I don't think we're going to utilize a lot of fertilizer. This is kind of set up to carry more fertilizer than seed, because that's normally what you would do. I think there might be a way that you can adjust the fertilizer and seeding ratios on these dual machines, but we'll find out about that. So now we just need to unhitch it and hitch on the front, and then once we're hitched up we can fold the wheels and the tow bar away. That'll work out quite nicely. You can get this field going. We'll put it onto a work, of course, and then build the other goat enclosure. Oh, there goes the tractor. It's too heavy, isn't it? It's too heavy. I wonder if it's just because we're on a slope. It's 4-wheel drive, so we might be able to just drive straight up. We can't steer, of course, because I don't think this is 4-wheel steering, this tractor. Fold it up, it gets even worse. Let's just see if we get it to the top there with it. It's come down a bit, but not much. No, we won't be able to steer. they're just touching. I think it's best just to go and do what actually needs to be done when you're using an implement like this that connects directly to the tractor. Put a big old weight on the front. We'll see you when we get back. Well, we are back now with a nice big weighting, 2.3 tons. One of the big ones, not the biggest, but right up there in the higher categories. I was mindful that the tractors are not high horsepower, so we don't necessarily want to carry any weight around that we don't need, but also I wanted to make sure that I had a weight that was big enough to be able to counterbalance the planter. I'm sure it will be. We'll find out soon enough. We certainly will find out soon enough. There we go. Yeah, it does sit down a little bit, but that's fine. That's perfect. That's exactly the way we want it done. So we'll get a worker organised on this field. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. I'm sure they'll be able to work it out. Hopefully they will do their up and downs. It looks like they are going to do them crossways, along the contours, so to speak. So we'll get that. Just watch it off for a little while. There we go. It does always take a little bit of time to get going, this Mercedes. It is quite an old tractor, really. Oh, I stopped it. Oh, created a bit of a gap there. Going to be a little bit of, looks like about half a meter of unseeded area. There we go. That's, yeah, perfect. Perfect. Right, so now I think the next job is to go and get the second goat. Well, I was going to say goat shed, but it's a goat enclosure really. And I'm going to be putting the shed on this sort of flat area just behind the refill station. Now, I haven't even flattened anything out here, and it's pretty much dead flat. A little bit of flattening being done, but not much at all. And then I'm going to enclose that whole forested area, so everything that you can see around that forest area. We do need to try and make sure that we've got quite a bit of grass, so we need to get as much of this grass out, but we still have to be mindful of the fact that particularly along the field at the top there, that we need to leave enough space for the tractors working on the field to be able to work effectively. Most of the time we'll be utilizing workers on there, and they tend to work to the edge of the field rather than over the edge, so I think I should have got a bit more left there. Just leave enough space here just in case we need to drive around there, but we shouldn't really have to drive around there. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. And then we'll go up along the road, because I think there's quite a bit of meadow that we can utilize there. There's a path there that we're going to block off, but hey, we need it. I suppose we could pretend there's a gate in there so that walkers could get through the gate there. We just go through the top here. So this is where I'm a little bit worried if we get too close to the edge of the field, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem. In fact, I think I might have left too much space there. I think we could have gotten a bit more left, but do want to leave enough area for the implements to operate, for the tractors and such like to plant, plough and harvest. I think there's enough there. I mean, I've seen tighter fields to the edge of boundaries or fences, so I'm not too worried. So yeah, as I was saying, goat heaven. Goats would just love to be in an area that is a mixture of grassland, forest, shrubbery, because they love all the different types of food, and it just keeps them more interested. Well, keeps them entertained. They can choose what they want to eat. You get a brilliant tasting milk out of this, I think. And we'll go along this road all the way back down. We should be just about finished. I have no idea how many goats we're going to get in here, but it's going to be a lot, I think. It's quite a big area. It's costing us a fortune in fencing costs. As I said in the other, it is a solution to us not having to buy another trailer, but this is far more expensive than having to buy another trailer, and we may not be able to operate anywhere near the capacity of the cheese making operation. That's why I needed quite big fields. So let's go and see how many we've got in here. Not quite sure how many there will be, but I would think there'll be a couple of hundred at least. Well, I'd hope there'd be a couple of hundred at least. 325, that's cool. Plus 115. 440 goats is our maximum that we can do for now. And maybe what we'll do is, if we buy any other farms, we'll look to see whether there's areas where we can utilize or make goat fields. So I think I'm going to put in 150 goats here. It's about close to half the amount, so we can get producing straight away, and we can get some goat kids born. Of course, we'll sell all the males straight away, keep the females. Well, I don't know whether there's males and females because we've just got this in the vanilla, so it probably won't be males and females. It'll probably just all be females. I can't remember, it's so long since I utilised it. I can't see any goats here. Just so much space, I suppose. Let's see if we can find any milling around in the bushes here. Oh, there's a couple there. There's one there. And there's another one down there somewhere. I think that's one we saw just now. I wonder if we'll see any in the actual forest area. Can't see any at the moment. Seem to be on the outside. Any down here? And there's one right up there. It looks like it's going into the forest. Goat heaven this is. I tell you what, this is goat heaven. It's quite nice to have these little paths here because we can pretend that the paths were created by the goats. Fantastic. So that'll be perfect for them. Right, and we've run out of seed. So let's go and get that fixed up. Well, fixed up. Let's go and get that filled up. Oh dear. And we'll... Why didn't they bring the Unimog down? I don't know why I didn't bring the Unimog down, but it's alright, it's not a problem. We can just drive up there and fill it up. It's not a serious problem, but it is not the system. I am going against the system. Oh dear, it's the way it is. We'll just get this filled up and then we'll get it going again, and I think that's where we'll end this episode. Rather eventful episode, not very long, but a major shift in well, I wouldn't say direction, but I think somewhere along the line I would have mentioned that I was not really intending to do any animals, and we would buy in any animal products. So yeah, we'll have to just wait and see what happens there. Not a real problem though. So that's that all done. I'll head on back down to where we ended off, right down at the other end there, and we'll get the worker set off again. Well, I think that's where we're going to end this episode. As I said, it's been a little shift in direction for our series, but I'm pretty happy with it. Just want to get this sorted out quickly and get the worker going so that when we come back in it'll automatically continue working. If I don't carry on now, once I've ended the episode. I might do, I don't know, we'll see. That's beside the point. Not for you to worry about. In any case, thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one. Cheerio.